just doing a video.
You see it? Okay. It is recording, and let me get to your email. Okay. First question is, when Smith borrow is in a 24-hour response deadline, April 28th. Very good. So you're going to send it a day in advance, like I suggest. Okay. What
forms? Does it matter if it's 24 hours or as long as it's the previous day?
I try and
11 a.m. we have till the end of the day tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I try and get it to them a day ahead of time, only because if they need anything changed or modified, that gives you a day to be able to change it. And I learned the hard way. Before I did proposal writing, I used to refer my clients to proposal writers. And I referred a client to a proposal writer who, I should say his name, but I'm not going to. I referred my client to a proposal writer, and he forgot to attach the bid bond. And he got them their proposal back at the last minute, and they submitted it, and they didn't win it. And it was for a nuclear power plant. We're talking billions of dollars in contracts, you know. And they didn't win it because they didn't attach their bid bond. Well, it wasn't their fault. The proposal writer that they hired forgot to attach it. Very, very basic mistake. Had they submitted it a day in advance, the purchasing officer probably would have replied and said, hey, by the way, you didn't attach their bid bond. They would have had time to attach it, and this problem would have been solved.
They didn't allow themselves enough time.
Exactly, because they submitted it at the last minute because their proposal writer gave it to them same day. So that's why I always make sure I get it done a day in advance so you can get it submitted the day before. And when something like that happens, you got time to modify or change it. Because when they did the debriefing on that contract, the purchasing agent told them they were his first choice. He would have hired them for that job. But they didn't attach the bid bond. And because it was last minute, he didn't have time to ask them to do it. So they lost it.
So even if it's due by Friday morning, it'd still be better to get it in by end of day tomorrow to allow them time to review.
I'd get it in tomorrow morning if you can. That way that gives you all day for them to review it and see if they want you to change it or modify it.
Okay.
All right. So what forms are required? Okay. It's indicating a resume. Okay. Would we provide a technical proposal? Okay. Is providing passport and support and stuff to me? Okay. What do we need for wage determination? All right. Well, let's take a look at it.
Is a technical proposal necessary if this is a maintenance agreement type
Could be.
of work?
Yep, could be. Let's take a look and find out. Let me take care of this real quick. He's waiting on this.
Okay.
This is a proposal that I wrote that my client won for $120 million. And I just requested a debriefing to find out. I wanted to know why he chose my proposal, what I did right. And he's saying that he can't tell me because I wasn't actually the bidder. So I have to have my client actually submit the
you can do a debriefing of knowing why you won, not just why you did.
Absolutely. Don't you want to know why when you win one? You want to know what you did right so you can keep doing it right?
Well, certainly. That's the whole purpose was so you can do it right.
A debrief. The purpose of a debriefing is traditionally in military is to make sure that you're okay. You know what I mean? They do a debriefing after something happens to make sure that you're okay. You know, do you have post-traumatic stress? This is what we're going to do next. This is how it worked. This is when, where, and why. So a government debriefing, whether you win it or don't, you can still request the debriefing either way. And the debriefing will say why they hired who they did and why they didn't hire who they didn't. So you can learn from both sides of the coin, you know.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I would always request a debriefing, even when you win them.
Hoping we ever get a win, we can do that. Still working on
Okay,
that.
maintenance agreement for Canon IR 05240 serial number. This is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking for the instructions to offerer. So I'm going to do a Control F, put in the word instructions. Okay, now this is a scanned in copy of a document. It's not a real document. See all the little specks on it?
Yep.
So I can't
So
search it.
that won't work.
It's not a real document. It's a scanned copy of a document. So we're just going to have to quickly review it. Contractor responsible. So this is more like this is more like the statement of work. This is what it is they want to buy. Standards of conduct. Sexual harassment. Disciplinary action.
Just kind of their policy.
Yeah, this is all this is the government has to cover their butt. They have to, you know, in case this happens, this is how we're going to deal with it. You know, standards of conduct. So you're going to have each employee at the location sign off. But you shouldn't need this now. This would be after award. They just have to show you the document because they award it to you and then say, okay, now that it's awarded, now you have to agree to this, this, and this. Then you could say, well, you didn't tell me that in the beginning.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
So
this is if we would get awarded, this would be what we'd have to follow.
correct. All they're doing is covering their butts.
Ahead of time.
Yep. All right, so we're going to go back. Notice details. And look at the clauses. See if it's on the clauses page. Okay, more than likely the instructions to offer are going to be on here. And this I can search it, Control F. Instructions. No.
It appeared to be on that very cover page there. They just kind of had it right in. They have like a synopsis, A, B, C, D. But I didn't know if any of this other stuff is. Well, there's the instructions, or the certs and reps.
Okay. Offer shall complete only paragraph B of this provision if the offer has completed the annual representation. So yes, we have this in SAM. Okay. So all they're asking you to do is complete paragraph B.
Which is
Okay, wage determination means you're required to pay a minimum of a certain dollar amount to your employees, depending on what category they fall under. All right.
So is there something we have to prove before we submit the bid, or would this be afterwards that we have to provide something?
It depends. Depends if they specify that or not. So let's look at the synopsis, because there's nothing in the documents telling me what they want us to submit. So we're going to read the synopsis, blah, 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 more
We
blah,
never found
blah.
paragraph B, right?
What's that?
We never found paragraph B, right?
Correct.
You were looking, okay.
So I just thought that was funny, and I said it in the joking way, and he said, and John Wayne said, "Oh, you're scared, right?" Right. It was funny, and I was like, so "That's the way we roll."
There it is, instructions to offerer. So that's what it is that we know they want us to submit. Quotes shall be submitted on company letterhead, stationery, signed and dated, and it shall include the following in order to be considered technically acceptable. They want on your letterhead solicitation number, closing date, name, address, telephone or email, contact person, technical description of items, service being offered in sufficient detail to evaluate compliance requirements and may include literature, other documentation if necessary. That's your technical proposal right there you asked for.
So on letterhead, we need all of these, 1 through 11?
Yep. Price and discount terms, remit to address, complete copy of your reps and certs, acknowledgement of solicitation amendments, resume resume stating ability to meet qualifications and requirements of the statement of work, a statement specifying the extended agreement with all terms, conditions, blah, blah, blah.
So can we attach like our own created maintenance agreement with
Correct. Yep. That's exactly what they're
this?
asking.
On letterhead, we would have the solicitation number and the closing date, name and address, our logo basically.
All of that on your letterhead. Doesn't have to be
connect.
on one page, obviously, because your technical proposal is going to be fairly detailed. Copy of your refs and certs is going to be, 70-something pages right there probably. So
we can attach things to this.
exactly.
The
Yeah, what I would do
or do an index page?
What I would do is well, they're more than likely asking you to email this, right?
Yeah, lower down it does say on page, the second page, I think, it says we could...
Offers accepted electronically, submitted via email. Yeah, so what you're going to want to do is create one page on your letterhead that's got the SOL number, closing date, name, address. So that could be your cap statement right there, and add on that SOL number and the closing date, etc. Or just do a separate page for that. Then a page with your technical description and include terms of express warranty. Then I would do a separate page for price and discount terms. You can put the remit to address on that page if you want. Then a complete copy of your reps and certs. That's going to be a separate document. Then a separate document to acknowledge the amendments. Are there any amendments?
What is that?
Nope. If there's an amendment, it'll say over here original synopsis, and then it'll say amendment, an amendment date, and it'll show a date and time that this was amended or changed. So let's say they made a mistake on this document, or they had to add a second document or a fifth document, or they wanted to extend the time from 3 years to 5. Any changes to this opportunity is called an amendment. And you have to acknowledge those amendments. Now, what I would do, because there are no amendments, is I would actually create an amendments page and say that you acknowledge the amendments, and then say no amendments. Sign it and date it. So you've covered your butt. Even though there are no amendments, you still include the amendments page. All right, it says if any issued, so it's up to you. You can ignore it, because in the instructions they said if any issued, otherwise ignore it. And then they want a resume stating the ability to meet qualifications requirements of the statement of work, and then a statement specifying the extended agreements term of blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this is literally what they want right there, and they want it emailed.
And we can kind of put it how, like if we have a cap statement that would include most of this stuff.
Yep. They're giving you,
that would be sufficient.
Yep. They're giving you the leisure to do it in your format, in your convenience, instead of telling you they want specific forms and use the standard form and this and that. And so you know how to download your reps and certs?
Yes, I do. Right. I guess, again, you said they're allowing us to do that because we don't have to have a letterhead?
No, on the reps and certs, they just want you to download it and save it. Yep, and attach it. Make sure you clearly mark each document.
So would it be okay to put an index page so that it's...
I mean, you could, but index pages are more for when it's printed. But you could do that. I mean, you could do document number 1.
Document number 2.
Where the first document shows number 1 on it, and then it shows the SOL number. It shows number 2, the closing date, shows number 3. So you actually, put these numbers on the document.
Okay.
And then your second attachment would be the technical. The third attachment would be the terms and conditions and warranty and price and discount terms, along with, you could put the remit to address on there if it's different from the mailing. Your fourth document would be your reps and certs. Fifth document would be your amendment. Sixth document would be the resume. Seventh document would be the statement. Make sense?
What do they look for on the resume? Just what we have, why we feel we're qualified to do this?
Exactly. Resume stating ability to meet qualifications and the requirements of the SOW. Okay. So I would, in that case, I would take the SOW and I go through it section by section. The first section is background. If you think you need to reply to this on how you would do this, then put background, question, and then your answer. Second, purpose. Read it and put your answer. Third, task. Read it, put your answer, Okay.
And so it doesn't say any limits, so the more the better, or just answer it the best we can and not too wordy?
Yep.
Okay. How would you do a technical proposal, though? I think I lost you.
No, I'm here. Give me just a moment.
Oh.
Okay, you asked about the technical proposal?
Well, I guess, are we done with the resume? Do I need to know anything else about that?
No, it says the resume says to answer the statement of work, so you basically can just go right off this page. Your resume should answer these questions, or explain how you're going to do this. And then yeah, I mean, it's basically brochures, stuff like that, and a detailed description on how the item service being offered sufficient detail to evaluate compliance with the requirements of the station. This may include product literature or other documentation if necessary.
So what would that be? This is like a photocopier.
So it would
they already know what it is.
Well, you got to demonstrate that you know what it is. So you would include product literature. Go to the Canon's website and download their brochure for that copier. And then write a description on how you're going to fulfill the items and services being offered.
And isn't that similar to the resume, or not really?
No, because this is a technical description of items and services being offered in sufficient detail to evaluate compliance with the requirements solicitation. So the resume is how you're going to fulfill the SOW. Okay, this is to show that you understand what it is they want to buy. This is to show how you're going to provide the solution. All right, don't overthink it. It's way easy to overthink. This is actually really simple. Keep it that way. You should be able to throw this together in an hour. All right, and if you can get it done soon, get it over to me today so I can look at it.
And then the technical proposal, you said just basically go, product literature, go to Canon's site and download some of their information?
Yeah, just show them product literature and other documents showing that you understand the services being required. And then explain in sufficient detail how you're going to be within compliance and the requirements of the solicitation. All right?
Wage determination, you said we really don't need anything yet until after.
They're not. Don't overthink it. They're giving you specific instructions right here, 1 through 11. If they don't ask for it, don't give it to them. All right.
And it would be wise to offer some kind of a warranty and discount. I think I remember you talking about that previously.
I always offer a 1% discount. Net 5 minus 1%. Discount terms equals net 5 minus 1%. That means every time you invoice them, if they pay you within 5 days, you'll give them a 1% discount off that invoice. And you can just tack that 1% on the back of the cost, so you're not losing anything. All right. Any other questions?
I got them all here. The sales tax and exemption, I'm not quite sure clear on that.
You're gonna either have to get a sales tax exemption document from the supplier and tell them that it's going to the government, or you're gonna have to pay the supplier tax and just add it. It's gonna come out of your profits. You know.
There was one case where it was a different, so it was a product, and they wouldn't ship it to Maryland because of whatever. They needed a exemption certificate from them. How do you get it from the agent, the government agent?
You can. You'd have to let the supplier know that you're selling to the government.
Yes, and we did, and they said they still need something.
Right, and when you're awarded the contract, you will get a certificate of you'll get that from the government.
Oh, when awarded, then you would be able to get that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need it for now because you're not paying for anything yet. Once you get awarded it and you're ready to buy it, then the government will give it to you, and that's what you submit. All right?
Okay. So it's okay to ask that if we would get this ever awarded something, we would
if you tell the supplier up front you're selling it to the government, you're giving them more information on who your buyer is. So it's none of their business at this point.
Oh, so we don't have to tell them that?
No. If you tell the supplier you're selling to the government, that's one more hint on who your buyer is and one more way that they can go around you. All right, just go ahead and we got an hour before the training starts. Knock this out and get it done so I got time to look at it today.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, John.
You got it. You got it. No problem.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.